You're all set.
Okay, here we go. A minute for everyone to connect. Okay, so, give me 1 second here. All right, so I will call our meeting to order, and today is September 15th, 2020. This is a meeting of the North Kingstown School Committee pursuant to the Governor's executive orders. This meeting is being held virtually via Zoom. And if I could ask everyone to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And Madam Clerk, if you could please call the roll.
Mr. Glassbog?
Here.
Mrs. Hildebrand?
Here.
Mrs. Hoskins?
Here.
Mr. Jones?
Here.
Mr. Mather?
Here.
Mrs. Schock?
Here.
And Joe Bento. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And any presentations or recognitions this evening?
Nothing this evening.
Okay. So next, we are at citizens' comments. So I'll give anyone who'd like to speak the opportunity to speak. Just as a reminder, citizens' comments, we ask that you please limit your comments to 3 minutes. And in the Zoom format, if you could please go under the Participants tab. If you click that, you will see a Raise Your Hand button. If you push that, it will indicate to me that you wish to speak. If you are on your phone, it is *9, I believe. I don't see anybody in here on phone anyway though tonight. So I see Kate Scott. So I will let you unmute. And if you could please state your name and address for the record, please.
Of course. Kate Scott, 10 Jasmine Circle in Salisbury. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much. We are 2 days into distance learning and a 4th grader doing distance learning, both boys. And I have to say, their teachers are amazing. I wish we had had them last year for distance learning. They are fantastic. Miss Anna Shelley for 1st grade and Mrs. Beeland, Rhodes Beeland, I believe is her full last name, but she goes by Beeland for 4th grade. Amazing. Could not have asked for better teachers. So thank you. I know, you couldn't have guaranteed which teacher we got, but I want to say these two, wonderful, wonderful teachers. Thank you so much for everything that you did and the classes that my children ended up in. They're both very lucky. They both have children from Hamilton in their classes. The 4th grader has probably 6 or 7 kids from Hamilton in his class. The 1st grader, his entire class is Hamilton, all 20 kids, which I was surprised to find out about, but was wonderful. He was pointing out to me. He was like, oh, I know that kid and that kid. Sure you do, buddy. They all look the same, but fantastic. My question is, first of all, is thank you. Thank you for what you did. Thank you for setting the teachers up for success. Thank you for picking teachers who embrace technology and understand how our distance learning environment is set up. Because and granted, these are my only 2 experiences that I have with these teachers, they're perfect for this role. They get what it's like to be 6 and 9 and sitting in your dining room or your kitchen and getting it. So thank you. It has gone fantastic. Again, it's only 2 days in, and I'm so happy with the way it has gone. Come February, though, assuming things calm down and we're able to go back into the school, I wonder if the 1st grade class, my son's name is Cooper in 1st grade, if Cooper's entire class will be transitioning to Hamilton, because there are 20 children in that class who are all from Hamilton and his teacher. I believe the numbers of the other classes are 19 and 20, and I think the max is 24 for 1st grade. So that would allow somewhere between 12 and 14 kids into the classes before they hit max. And I understand there's a per diem stipend that can be provided to teachers. And I'm hoping, based on her awesomeness, that we can just pick her up from, I think she's at Quintessence, pick her up from Quintessence and put her somewhere at Hamilton. Where? I have no idea, because there's no room in Hamilton with the extra fourth grade and things. But I'm a planner, obviously. You guys know that about me. We spend a lot of time on email together. Come February, what's going to happen to these kids? First graders? Can we just move their 20 kids and their teacher, Miss A, was amazing, into Hamilton? So I know I can't get an answer tonight, and I don't expect an answer tonight, but I'm hoping that conversations can start about what happens in 5 months when our kids are done with distance learning, and we can hopefully transition back into a safe school environment for everybody. My kids opted into the school, into distance learning, because my mom is 70 and she's prone to pneumonia, and she picks them up from school. It's her job. Once my dad died 5 years ago, this is her job. This is her source of income, other than Social Security. And they knew that if they went into school, they wouldn't be able to see her. So they chose the distance learning environment, knowing that they would still be able to see their grandmother, because they're both very strong students. They're smart, they're funny, they're handsome, triple threats, I know. But come February, what will happen? And as a planner, I gotta know what's gonna happen. So again, thank you so much for all of your work, all of your time, and I couldn't say enough about these two particular teachers, Miss Annicelli and Mrs. Beeland. They are wonderful. Thank you again.
Thank you very much. I don't see any other hands raised, but if anybody else would like to speak, again, if you go to the participants tab, there's an option to raise your hand there. And if you do, I will see it, so we'll give it another minute or two just in case. And I don't see anyone else. So thank you very much, and we'll move on with our agenda. So next item is the superintendent's report. So Dr. Jay, I'll turn it over to you.
Yes, thank you. So, and thank you, Kate, for those comments. You know, we've been very happy with the way that the Distance Learning Academy got put together. Kudos to Dr. Mansteri and our elementary principals. They did a lot of work in the last few weeks organizing for this and you know, interviewing and hiring people. And it's really coming together well. So we're getting a lot of positive comments. Just to briefly get to your question, Kate, you know, I wish I could tell you what's going to happen in February. I do not. I'm not even sure what's going to happen next week right now. So we're going to take this one step at a time. And, you know, whatever we do, we can make sure we plan well in advance. So, you know, we'll get back to you. You know, when the time is right and when we know more. So, I just want to point out, you know, Dr. Mansteri and I went to all of the schools in the last couple of days to see, you know, the opening. People were very excited to be back, kids and adults, and it was really nice to see. And so, this kudos to everybody in the department for all the work that they're doing and for the work to, you know, prepare our kids to, you know, have, you know, minimal anxiety over this, and that's what I really felt. I felt like people were just happy to be back. They were okay with wearing masks and eager to get to work, and that was really a delight to see. And so, you know, we have some issues that we are still playing out. You know, we still have one more person that we're looking to hire for the Distance Learning Academy, for instance, and a few jobs in the district that are still being filled. You know, there are people who are asking about, you know, I didn't ask for a bus, but I'd like to get on a bus now, or I asked for distance learning, but I'd like to be in now, or vice versa. And so we're going to be putting out an FAQ again. We've been doing a lot of updating that. We're going to update it again tomorrow and talk about, you know, if you're in that group, it's not, you know, kind of an automatic yes necessarily. And maybe we're going to wait and see how the numbers shake out. there's still a lot of questions out there that people have about, what kinds of options they still have at this point. And we will try to make that clear to you. I'm just letting you know that there will be an email from me before the end of the day tomorrow, trying to answer some of these questions. And I think that's about it for me right now. No big presentation tonight, but very happy to see things going well. And we'll keep you posted as we move along.
Thank you, Dr. J. And while we're talking reopening, I just want to take a minute on behalf of the other members of the school committee, and I think I'm speaking for everyone when I say, there have been a lot of times when I will talk about how important every member of the team is, and that, everybody is a contributor to what we do. But I do want to call out in particular that this, at least over the summer and over the past few months, this is a time that I really need to recognize the amazing administration and leaders that we have in our district. From Dr. O'Shea to Ms. Mansiri and Mrs. King, and I don't want to, I feel like an Oscar speech because everybody I name means there's 20 people I'm not. So, all of you folks have worked so hard, put in late nights, gone above and beyond to make this all happen. And I want to also make sure that I include the leadership of the NKNEA and our educational support personnel as well, because it's not just about the administration here, it's the leadership within our staff that have made this all happen. And if you guys weren't all working together with the best interest of our students in mind and come up with a plan, and I've used this phrase before, and I think it's really true, you guys moved heaven and earth to not only get our buses running, our schools open, but to create a completely parallel school system within our school system in a couple months. And that is no small undertaking, and I want to recognize you all for that. So thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
And that's, like I said, not just our administration, but our staff leadership as well. It was truly leadership from all points. So thank you.
I'd like to echo that as well, what Greg said and what Kate said. I was a huge advocate for distance learning. My kids are in distance learning right now. I've got a 5th grader and a 2nd grader, and literally couldn't be happier with their teachers. I know things were down to the wire, down to literally the last couple of minutes probably. But again, it's only been 2 days, and there's many hiccups to come, I'm sure, but we're incredibly happy so far with how everything's going.
Thank you. And, all right, so unless anyone else has a comment,
sorry. Now, I'm not going to, echo what Greg said. I also want to add, and I'm sure this was under what the chairman was talking about, because I know the public hears in the news maybe about bus strikes and all that, just the commitment that we had from our transportation people, both, in the district, staff and employees making it work, and our bus drivers and monitors who, we didn't have to worry, we know they would show up. So just want to thank all of them for making, all the logistics, Trish and the school lunch and all that logistics that drive, letting our educators and leaders educate the kids. Without that, you can't have the conditions to do that. So thanks to all them as well, and all the planning that went in to make that happen.
You're absolutely right. That falls under the Oscar speech of every person.
Yeah, I know.
Forgot. And I'm looking in my top left corner, I want to mention Mr. Waterman as well, because the text side of this is no small undertaking either. And I know you put in many late nights, and the stuff you do, people only see when it breaks. And you know that, and I know that. So since it's not a broken bank.
And he was also helping with pickup at Hamilton today, too. So he's very versatile, that guy.
Every is to wear, sir. And he answers my text at 11:30 at night, so thank you. All right, so moving on the agenda to routine items. First, if I could have a motion to seal the executive session minutes of this evening, September 15, 2009. Motion from Ms. Hoskins.
Second.
Second from Ms. Hildebrand. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes unanimously. And I can disclose that no votes were taken in executive session this evening. And next, we have the consent agenda. And actually, I'm going to go back for one more second because I thought of somebody else I definitely want to thank. again, it's literally the Oscar speech. They pull the microphone down on you, you can't talk anymore, but I get to talk more. And that's the Director of Special Education, which is Kim Carson, who also, behind the scenes has been making sure that all of our families who need special ed services have been getting everything that they need. And in this unique configuration, that is no small feat.
Absolutely.
Okay, so consent agenda. Anyone have any items that they would like to exempt from the consent agenda? Hearing none, I'd ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Mr. Mather has the motion. And second? Second. Rand. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Next, item F. I think probably the best thing is, Attorney Carroll, if you might want to just give a quick summary of what we have before us. I know the members understand it, but I'll turn it over to you.
Am I unmuted? Yes?
All right, you're good. We can.
Okay, so over the summer, we were able to negotiate with the bus drivers, first of all, a partial payment of the money they lost by the buses not running from March till June. And then also an agreement from them that they would put the buses on the road the first day, working under last year's contract. That contract has expired, but they've agreed to work under that contract until we have the time to negotiate. Everyone's made a statement thanking all the bus drivers. This was a very easy agreement to work out. And as somebody who's been in a lot of other districts of the state and dealing with bus contracts, Mr. Jones was absolutely right in thanking your bus drivers, because now we have an agreement. We've given them a partial payment of what the money they lost, and they have buses on the road. They're not threatening to strike. They're willing to transport all of the students from North Kingstown, and I certainly recommend that you agree to and support this contract this evening.
Thank you. So if we could start with a motion to approve item F1.
So moved.
A motion from Mr. Mather. Second from Ms. Hildebrand. So any discussion? So I'll just add, I want to thank the leadership of our Bus Contractors Association. We had some discussions, meetings that I was a part of, and their members as well, and we talked about what we were trying to do was to, provide a fair agreement with them. No one expected March to just suddenly stop the buses from running. They were not prepared for that, and they had expenses that they incurred that were as a direct result of them planning on putting buses on the road for us. And we understand that, and at the same time, they didn't do everything they normally would do. So, it would be appropriate to give them the exact same amount that they would receive to have the buses run, but we understand they have expenses, and this agreement addresses both of those points. And we're very thankful to them for, working with us on it, and we look forward to working with them going forward on negotiating this new contract. And it's just a matter of, thankfully, they understand that there's been a lot of things that the administration has been working on lately. We're not forgetting about them in any way, and their understanding and willingness to, let us get school up and running, and then we'll turn our attention to negotiating that contract. And we very much appreciate them being flexibleness there, and we thank them all very much for all the work they did. We have a motion and a second. So with that having been said, all those in favor, unless there's any other discussion, sorry? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Mrs. King, anything on the 2019-20 school budget?
Nope, all set.
Okay, and 2021 school budget?
Nope, all set.
One thing I do want to mention, because it does affect, sorry, I didn't know if I said 2021, that's what I meant. On the 2021 school budget, I think most of you know that that we had requested to the town council an additional appropriation for $500,000 to assist us with our expenses that we've encountered in providing distance learning and COVID-19. The council met last night and did approve our appropriation with the understanding that it would be paid out quarterly, and that the school department would be submitting essentially, a detail of what expenses that, we're using to sort of split our 500 and their 5.5, and I'm very pleased to say that the council did support our request, and I want to thank them very much for doing so, because it was really important to our reopening plan. We kind of went out on a little bit and approved a reopening plan that relied on those funds before we actually had them committed and based on their assertions, and they came through for us, and I want to thank them all for it. So thank you to all the members of the town council who supported that last night. CIP bond, existing bond and future bond?
Nothing.
Okay. Next, we have a new policy, which is policy D, item D1, which is policy JLCE, which is a new COVID-19 policy. I'm not sure, this is King or Attorney Carroll. I don't know who's the best person to just do a quick summary of that for us.
These are the standing orders that we will approve the standing orders before every school year starts. This is kind of an addendum to those standing orders for COVID information and COVID rules. And this has been thoroughly vetted by our school doctor, Dr. Silversmith, as well as our lead nurse, Colleen Schmack.
Thank you very much. I'd like to get a motion to approve item D1. I have a motion for Ms. Hoskins. Do I have a second? Ms. Hildebrand? Any further discussion?
Can I ask a question? This is a first read of this policy then?
No, actually, it's just an addendum to a policy.
Okay.
If there is anything that you do want to question or change, I mean, you can certainly make it that way.
No, it was just clarification.
Yeah, no, because it's really, the standing orders are technically not really a policy. It's something that we do every year, updating them. So we call it a policy, but it's not a first read, second read kind of thing.
Okay.
Any other questions? So this would be a final approval. So all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes unanimously. Only items left on the agenda are disposal notification. Anyone have any questions on that? If not, we've reached the end of our agenda, and I'd ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I have a motion from Ms. Hoskins,
Second.
second from Mr. Mather. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. We are adjourned. Thank you all for attending tonight.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.